Tired of me reviewing board games from the 70s? I'm not. Today we're going to go through Chopper Strike. Look at this. It's a board game on 2 different levels. But is it good? Let's check it out. Alright, so in the game Chopper Strike, as you see, it's played on 2 levels. We have this clear plastic tray that holds all of your helicopters. Then at the bottom is the actual board game, which holds all of your Jeeps. So this game is being played on 2 levels here. Now, you have 2 die here. One of the die represents how many vehicles will be moving at that one time, and this represents how many spaces. So if I were to roll the die and they popped up a 2 and a 5, that means I can move 2 of my vehicles 5 spaces each. Now they can be 2 helicopters, 2 Jeeps, or a Jeep and a helicopter. There's also 3 is the most that you can move at the same time on the die, and of course 1 is the least. During the game, if you have some massive game where everyone's being destroyed and you have more movements than you do have vehicles on the board, then you just move all the vehicles that you have. Like if I only had 2 left, I would move just, if I had 1 helicopter, 1 Jeep left, I would only move 2. I don't see where that would be the case in any of these games, but regardless, it's in the rule book. Now, as you're moving and you're battling, how do battles work? Well, first off, as you see, the Jeeps here battle on the ground, and they have things here. Let me see if I move the camera a little bit. You see they have mountains and lakes. You cannot cross through the mountains and lakes. There are not squares there, so you can't go through there. You have to go around them. So there are obstacles for the Jeeps. Now, those obstacles don't exist, of course, for the helicopters, only for the Jeeps. So if I was to make a play here, I would move this guy 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can't move diagonally on any sides of the board here. You can't see it because it's really clear. I don't know if it'll pull up on the camera, but there are numbers to each of the, I don't know if that's really pulling up. There's numbers on the clear plastic tray that correspond with the board. So you actually know exactly where you're above or beyond or under, above or under a helicopter or Jeep, which I'll explain the importance of that later. But anyway, I would move my helicopter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that would be my turn. Well, then the next player would go, and so on and so forth. So let me talk about battle here. Let's talk about Jeep battle. It's very simple. All one Jeep has to do is land on the same square as another Jeep, and they have destroyed that Jeep. They have to get an exact roll there, but they do destroy that Jeep. That's Jeep on Jeep war. Now, helicopters are a little bit different. Helicopter on helicopter. If I rolled a 3, 1, 2, and then I would hop over it like checkers, 3, and that would destroy that helicopter. I could also destroy multiple helicopters on a turn. Let's say there's one here too, and I rolled a 3 again. 1, 2, and then I'd hop this one, 3, and I'd actually destroy 2 choppers. Now the only thing I couldn't do is I couldn't jump 2 choppers at the same time. So I moved 1, 2, 3. Oh, can't do that because there's another chopper there. I can't land on another chopper. So if I wanted to, maybe I could come around the side. Well, 1, 2, 3, that wouldn't work. But if I had 4, 5, I could. Anyway, that's how it works. You could jump over helicopters. That's how a helicopter destroys a helicopter. Now, how a helicopter destroys a Jeep is if a helicopter ends its turn right above a Jeep, it can say hit, and then it blows up that Jeep. Now, same thing can be if a Jeep ends its turn right underneath a helicopter. It can say hit and destroy the helicopter. One of the cool rules here is they say if a helicopter flies over a Jeep, stops its turn there, but does not declare hit, it is not destroyed from the game. Basically, it knows that you're going to be focusing on 2 levels of play here. Warfare on the ground and warfare in the air. You may not realize you're underneath an enemy's Jeep. And if so, the enemy should keep quiet because on their turn, they can say hit and they can take out that helicopter immediately or vice versa. They can take out that Jeep that rolled under them on the last turn. The winner of the game is the one who destroys all the opponent's either Jeeps or helicopters. And that's how you play Chopper Strike. Okay, so final thoughts on Chopper Strike. What I think about it. I thought it was cool just by looking at the box. Look at that. I was like, no way! Helicopters and Jeeps in 2 levels. That seems incredibly fun. And I put it together. The board looks amazing. And it's actually pretty fun. It's cheap plastic though, so be careful. One of my guns broke off. I have to super glue it back on. But it is a fun game to play. It is slightly challenging because you do forget. You focus too much on the I focus too much on the helicopters at times and not enough on the Jeeps. And so Jeeps will roll up underneath me. When I'm thinking I'm about to kill this chopper, the opponent has a Jeep right there to shoot underneath me, and then I'm done. It's awesome. You're playing Warfare on 2 different levels. Now, it's kind of weird because I haven't seen this creativeness in board games since. Or maybe there is something out there and I just haven't seen it. But a clear tray above to represent the sky, fights in the air. Think about that. You could do that with superheroes, right? Superheroes on the ground, superheroes up in the air, fighting each other. There's a million creative ways they could use a clear tray in board games today, but sadly, I just haven't seen it anywhere else. So for the uniqueness factor, I think it's great. Now, this is a vintage game. You can only get it through eBay or, at flea markets and whatnot. And if you do find it at a good price, it may be pretty fun. I think it's pretty unique. And it's one of those games, just like Subsearch I reviewed last week. This is one of those games that just when you set it up for the person and they look at it and they go, what is this? And that it came from the 70s. So many good ideas back then. But there it is, Chopper Strike. Great game. I love it. All right, gamers, that's all the time I have for today. Until next time, game on!